Welcome, friends. Welcome to today's Reconsider It live stream. Best live stream you're gonna see all day. And here on this live stream, you are gonna get a very nice hour of some improvised live looping. All vocals. Although separate from the live looping, we're also bringing in the synth. Man, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be building up more on this foundation of a beat that we have here. Jamming along, maybe talking about stuff, who knows. It's called Tinkering in the Studio. My regulars know what it is. If you are new to the Reconsider It live streams, welcome! You made the right decision joining us. We want you here. At this time, my friends, we are just hanging out and getting the blood flowing. We are just in the warm-up phase. We are just getting ourselves situated. And here in this warm-up phase, I need to celebrate. I need to celebrate you. Thank you for being here. Whether you are here with us live in the chat, or you are here with us live, but you are not in the chat, or you are here with us after the live, you are watching on replay. However it is that you are here with us, thank you for being here. I'm going to celebrate you at this time in this way. I have got my drink. I'm going to count to 3, and then I'm going to clink. You are invited to join the rest of us as we cheers along and celebrate our togetherfulness. It's going to be really good. It's going to be an amazing and good and wonderful experience. And of course, you know, from count to 3, you know that it all begins on 1. which is a good place to start. And after 1 comes 2, which we like a lot. Following that, of course, clink. Cheers, my friends. That is good. It's always so good. I love connecting with you like this. It's so good. There's so much good. There's just a lot of goodness. All the goodness. Please like this video. Please subscribe. We have got ourselves a tinker stream, my friends. This is really good. This is a good thing. Yes. Insofar as these tinker streams are ostensibly about building up a beat with you in an improvised fashion. To that extent, the first order of business that we must address is building up this percussion 1 layer further. get caught up on the chat. I look at and get caught up on the chat. I see Thomas is really liking the Hydrasynth stuff. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that was coming through this time. Nice. Yeah, I was trying a couple new things. Thomas says sometimes it's like a fortress of solitude. The landscape that we're getting right now. The soundscape. Warheart says he's working on music today and he's just taking a break, hanging out while he takes a break. That's nice. That's nice. Thomas is doing stuff on his piano. That's dope. I like the idea of you doing stuff while you listen to this. That is one of the best scenarios. You're just like doing something, whatever you're working on, or maybe you're exercising in some way. Perhaps you're at a store even. You might be in the garden. You might be just hanging around bored. But I love hearing when you're doing something while you're hanging out with us. That's good. That's good. Warheart's talking a little more about the beat he's working on right now. He's doing some DAW stuff. DAW, D-A-W. That's a digital audio workstation where you do your music production. The one you might have heard of Audacity if you're not a music producer or audio producer in some other way. Audacity is like the most widely used DAW. It allows you to manipulate audio, and you can record digitally into it. Digital audio workstation. Everything I'm doing right now is DAW-less. That's the YouTube community, or not entirely. I was gonna say the intersection of the YouTube communities that I run in. It's mostly DAW-less musicians, but it's not actually. I can think of a few musicians off the top of my head who are DAW full, like Davey the Hug Monster, the first one that comes to my mind. Davey's doing this, production, and it's all DAW based. And that's not uncommon. So I take back what I said, that like the intersection of all my YouTube communities is DAW-less. That's not true. But many of them are. DAW-less. Anyway, Warheart's talking about how he's making some DAW drums. Some digital drums in his DAW. Audacity is the one, as I say, that most people have had some exposure to. Reaper is a good freeware DAW. I always forget the one that it's meant to be. Is it Pro Tools? I forget there's some like high-end DAW that Reaper is meant to be, not a replacement for, but like basically gets you all of the essential functions. I'm gonna say Pro Tools, but I may be wrong about that. I've never used Pro Tools before. I know nothing about it, other than it's a DAW. Warheart's using something. What are you using, Warheart? I should have asked you that earlier. I should have used previous seconds and minutes to ask you that, so that the answer would already be here by the time I got to this point in the conversation, where it became the natural fit. Where I say Warheart was using Blurg, but I don't know what that is. Warheart says, I sometimes use Reaper and Fruity Loops. Reaper smashes protocols. Thomas says Ableton. Oh, yeah, that's the other big one. There's Pro Tools and Ableton. I've never used either of those. I know nothing about them. I've used, as I say, Audacity. I mean, you know, for even things not related to music, you use Audacity. Reaper for some mixing that I've done. Like the last time that I really wrote and recorded a song, and I recorded the raps, and there's like 5 layers of vocal recordings, and I did mixing on all that mixing I used Reaper for. So Reaper is where I would go to do any kind of serious mixing, like if I was going to make a formal release that I intended to send on Spotify and what have you. Ableton and Pro Tools I know nothing about, but I know other people talk about them. The other one that I've used, the other DAW that I've used is Reason. And I know a lot of people still use Reason to this day. I mean, it's been a very long time since I used Reason. Probably over 10 years, 10 to 15 years. Reason 3.0 is the last time I used Reason. It's a long time ago. Anyway, Warheart's making some DAW drums, doing some DAW stuff, but also has HAW, which I've never seen before, but I take that to mean hardware audio workstation. Is that like your analog audio recorder? Is that what that is? I have not analog audio. I don't know if I've ever recorded an analog, if that's hardware. Or maybe it's just what you plug your hardware into. Is that what your HAW is? Nobody better make any kind of hee-haw references or puns or anything like that. That is not okay at this time. I see also that Lang has joined us. And Lang says we got good vibes. I like that. I'm down with that. That's good. Warheart says there's many paths to musical happiness. Is there? Warheart says I sometimes use Reaper and Fruity. Oh, I read them earlier. Thomas says I am DAWless, but sometimes I see that as a shortcoming. It can be. Like one of the shortcomings of my setup here is that I don't really have good mixing control. I just did an experiment like a week or two ago where I took some of my loops. My regulars know that after every stream, well, it's not, I don't do this after every stream, but if you take all of my streaming content with whatever rare exceptions, just assume all my streaming content, after the stream is over, I take all of these loops and I export them to my computer as some WAV files, which is pretty cool. And just, as I say, a week or two ago, I forget, maybe it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm not sure. But I did an experiment on my computer where I used Reaper, actually. And I imported the WAV files from whatever song. And I was very disappointed to discover that they didn't import consistently. And what I mean by that is, if you zoom in, like you import the files into Reaper, and I set the beats per minute correctly and everything. I import the files into Reaper. It is not the case that each of these layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 10 of these layers, it is not the case that they all line up the same way. They all appear to be different lengths. Not all. Some of them do line up, but others appear to be slightly, just barely different lengths, but it's there. And that gives me a sad face because that limits how I can produce on my computer with them, which makes me sad. But there is a 100% probability, or how about this? There is a possibility of a high probability. There is for sure a possibility of a high probability that there's just something I'm doing wrong technically, or whatever thing. Oh, you got to do this, and that's totally plausible. So I plan to keep playing with it. Forget how I got on the topic or where I was going with that. But I do see that there is some chat for me to get caught up on, which is nice. That was really good. Warheart says in his current beat making process, he's crafting a sequence in Fruity Loops, then exporting through Reaper to some DAW system. Wow, that's a lot of chaining. I try to minimize that as much as possible. Thomas says he's been diving into synths and such, and it's helpful that he speaks English, he says. He's been doing that for 8 years. That's way longer than me, Thomas. I've been doing music for many years, but that was mostly from the perspective of writing lyrics or performing. I see myself first and foremost, like all this music stuff, this is all secondary in my view of myself. I see myself primarily as a performer, and secondarily I see myself as a lyricist or wordsmith, let's say. And then, what did I say? Secondarily was wordsmith. We'll say like tertiarily, I see myself as a musician. That's the last part. Performer, wordsmith, musician. And that I've been doing for a long time. But not the synth stuff. I barely know anything about any synthesizer or anything. This Hydrasynth is the first one I've ever owned. continue to get caught up on the chat. Warheart clarifies what a haw is. In fact, it is not related to any kind of hee-haw anything, as I had admonished. Or warned, really, not admonished. A hybrid audio workstation. I don't know what that is, but at least I know what it's not hardware, as I assumed. Warheart says he does not use analog recording materials, as I had wrongly assumed earlier when I thought it was a hardware audio workstation. He says he doesn't use tape. He just uses a digital multitrack. All right, cool. That's all I have ever used is just digital recording. I think. I don't think I've ever used analog recording for myself. That is. Persian Tube says, I like how you stream at various hours in the day. Yeah, it is definitely always different. There's only 2 times through the week that I have predictable times. And that's on Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday, I do an hour at 7 p.m. Eastern U.S. time zone. And on Saturday, it's 11 a.m. Eastern U.S. time zone. Those 2 days are those times. But then any other day of the week could be any time. Continuing from earlier, Warheart has a technical question about the 505 loopers here. Because I was talking about how I take the wave files and I put them on my laptop, which I do for all my beats that I do on these live streams, with a couple rare exceptions here and there, such as if I, accidentally forgot to save it, or, the file got corrupted, or something like that. With rare exceptions, I have virtually every beat from my live streams for the past however many months. Not since I started live streaming. I only started doing that, I don't know how many months ago. I think at some point in like June or May, maybe April of 2025. Something vaguely in that time frame is when I started saving off my beats. Anyway, Warheart is asking, when I save off the beats, when I save off these wave files, does it export each instrument or a stereo mix? I get each one of these loops individually as a wave file. So I get 5 wave files from the top, 5 wave files from the bottom, which is cool. And every one of those is mono. Well, I shouldn't say that. Every one of them is stereo. I happen to record them in a way that is balanced. There is no panning in the recordings in my case. Sometimes, or by sometimes I mean every single beat I make, I put a lot of panning into the beat. Like right now, if you listen to these are panned. If you have headphones on, this is 2 different layers that are panned. And if you listen to all the drums, if you were to listen carefully to all of it, there's a lot of panning going on in the drums. But that's panning that is put, or it is applied to the wave file by the looper. Like that's what the looper is. The looper takes this raw recording and just does things with it, such as changing the volume or reversing it or other things. But the recording that I save off is just the raw recording, and in my case, that's not panned. You could record in a manner that's panned, but I never do that because I would rather have it just be central and, why limit the raw recording is my philosophy. But you do have the technical ability to record in a panned way. Anyway, so it's each layer. Each layer is what gets exported. 10 layers. And as I was saying, they don't perfectly line up. I do have a couple of ideas. I have a couple technical concerns as well. So there's specific problems I need to solve, but I'm aware of at least 2. One of them I think I have a technical solution for already, and that is the fact that they don't perfectly seem to line up. But the other problem that I need to think more about is how to make them not cut off. Because if something is, let's say 16 bars long, but I load the recording and it's 15 bars long, that's not what it's like. I'm just giving you easy numbers. But let's say it's just like a little bit off, and it's only 15 bars long. Then that one empty bar, if you're going to repeat it every 16 bars, there's going to be one empty bar. And so there'll be like a small moment of silence. And yet, if, listen to these are continuous pretty much. There's no stopping point in these as they loop, these layers. This is in the middle. There's a pause in the middle there. But this is the end here. It just continuously goes on. That would be interrupted by a very small bit of silence, which would be audible. It would be, even to somebody who's not listening too carefully, you'd still hear that. So I need a solution for that other than manually manipulating each and every loop. Warheart says, is there a feature such as exporting from 0? I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean export from 0? The interface I have is that I hook it up to my laptop, and it just shows up literally as folders, as files. So I go to, this is configuration number 64. So on my laptop, there's a folder called 64, and I open it, and there's 5 WAV files in there. That's all it is. So I'm not sure if export from 0 means with no effects applied, because that's what it is. It's just the pure raw wave with no effects applied to it. Warheart says, let me do some mixing for you. If I ever get to the point that I need real mixing, you will be included in my people who I contact for mixing support. Thank you for offering. Tube has some appealing stories. Says, I like synths. I have a Korg Monopoly. I don't know what that is, but I know that Korg is a brand, a hardware manufacturer. I know that they make gear. A Korg Monopoly. Person Tube says, I've been lucky enough to get to play from time to time since the late 90s. That is cool. That is cool. I love when I get to play live. I usually work best when I am working with someone who handles logistics and I get to just be the talent. I find it really hard to try to do all of the let me contact the venue, let me talk to the promoter. I mean, I guess the promoter is a separate thing. The promoter's good. If there's a promoter I know and have a good relationship with, that works. I can work with a promoter. But otherwise, if I don't know any promoters and I'm just cold calling venues, I'm not good at that. But I know some people are. Some people are good at the networking, the business side of things. Same thing when it comes to the like recording and mixing and mastering and submitting it to, you know, CD Baby or DistroKid or whatever. I just bring inspiration. I need somebody else to give me my stage. I know what to do when I'm on the stage. I just need someone else to give me my stage, put me on my stage. With us, we have Tactical Mini. Warheart says, I've never formally published any songs. Oh, it's such a hassle. It's such a hassle. And you'd better, if you want to see them go anywhere, you'd better have like this whole business plan, or you need to be like one of the once in a generation people who everything you make is such hot fire that everyone who sees it loves it and has to share it. It's like, that's not a skill you can develop though. You either are that once in a generation person or you're not. And P.S. if you are, you don't need advice because everything just happens for you. But for the rest of us, yeah, you'd better have some kind of business plan and professional network and a marketing team, or at least a marketing tools and strategy or something. Otherwise, I don't know how much it's worth it to go through the whole process of publishing a song and putting it on iTunes and everything. Do it. I mean, I have released a few albums, but I don't. At the moment, I don't plan to do any more like that. I would like to do. I've been saying this for a while, but I would like to do an EP. A solo EP, maybe made out of beats, made out of these live looping beats. And I'm thinking 5 songs, rap songs to be clear. Probably just be simple verse chorus type stuff. I also thought about doing a 5-song rap EP that's all collaborations, where all of the beats are made by other producers and every song has at least one other rapper on it. Thought about doing that. I don't know if I'm ever going to do that, or the 5-song EP. But I would make a 5-song EP if I were working with some producer and that producer was all about that stuff. The producer handles making the 5 beats, laying it all out. I just come in and rap on it. Producer juggles all of the mixing and whatever. We make an album, 5-song EP, a formal release. That I would do. That's basically what Conscious Object was. My producer handled all of that. I just showed up and rapped. That was kind of it. I'm exaggerating a little, but not by much. And I would like to do that again. Another situation like that where I'm just the rapper, man. I just show up. I don't even necessarily need to be the only rapper. I had my group Outside Voices. There were 5 rappers or 6. Our first album had 6 rappers. Our second album had 5 rappers. 1 left. Or you could look at it, 1 was only with us for that initial cabin getaway where we made an album all over the weekend. In one day, really. The beats we already had, but everyone who was rapping, we all wrote our raps just on Saturday, and that was it. And then we recorded it on Sunday. It was a really cool weekend. So anyway, I would like to do some stuff like that. I just show up and rap. Hey, you got the beat already? Oh, you need a 16-bar verse here? Okay. Yeah, let me hear what's already there. All right, here's my 16 bars. That's nice. I could work really well in that kind of environment. Would love to do that. I'm still getting caught up on the chat here, and thankfully I see Viral is with us. Tactical MIDI says, I fixed the 202, but now I'm having some other issues. It's often unnoticeable, but not always. Also with us. Also with us now in the chat, as I had alluded to earlier, whose name I brought up and summoned, Davey! Says, I have no dreams of stardom. I did. Maybe that's something we could talk about at some point in a lengthy manner. I see we're a little over an hour. I still got to make the other beat here, or the loop here. But yeah, I totally had dreams of stardom and probably some, maybe not formal delusions of grandeur. Maybe that's going a little too far. But some degree of like what would you say? Some kind of superiority complex. Maybe that's also not exactly right. Kind of related. Kind of related. Maybe this is a better way to put it. One of the things I always loved that I heard once that I felt worked very well for me. Jack is with us. But just the other day, I was thinking of this quote I heard. It was Russell Brand who said this. He said this probably like 10 plus years ago. Or I don't know when he said this. It was a while ago. Russell Brand said that I liked, and I'm recalling for you. In my paraphrase, and it probably has gotten telephone tagged over the past 10 years in my head. But he said, of himself, he said, my personality doesn't really work without fame. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what my personality is like. For most of my life, I was kind of larger than life, like Russell Brand is. The biggest personality in the room, over the top, loud. I used to be like that. And at some point, roughly around age 20, let's say, that stopped working for me, but I didn't really have any other strategies. I was like, but that happened to be a potential expression of my music, which I was also already doing. And so I always thought of myself as like belonging on stage. I don't really belong anywhere off of stage. I'm too much. My personality is too much. I only, if my regulars know what I'm going to say right now. These discussion streams that I've been doing recently, I've been experimenting with, that are about talking, they're not about the music. In these discussion streams, what do I talk about? I talk about this professional expertise I have, which is how to be effective when you are speaking in a context that you are recognized as the sole person talking. Like, you're talking now. When you're in that situation, I have a lot of technical tips and expertise, and that's what I share in the discussion streams. That works if you're in a professional setting, giving a presentation, leading a meeting, teaching a class, leading a live stream, if you're a performer, leading your performance, any of these kinds of things. So this situation where you are recognized as the one speaking, and it's not like a back and forth conversation necessarily, although these techniques do apply there too. The reason I say this is I was talking about how my personality is larger than life, and that my personality doesn't really work without fame. I had adopted that, and I see myself as belonging on stage. That's part of what stage is. It's an expression of this context where you're the one talking, and that's it. Not necessarily a forceful way. That's the situation. I'm the one on stage. I'm the performer. I'm the one talking now. I'm very comfortable in that. I know how to express myself. But outside of that, when it's an unstructured social dynamic, my sense of everything I just described, I'm very, very strong and powerful when I'm able to just be the one talking. But when it's an unstructured social dynamic, that doesn't work. You can't just, have everyone be quiet while you talk. But that's sort of all I know how to do. And I have a hard time in unstructured social dynamics. So all that is to say, this came out of the comment that I think it was Warhart who put this in, that he didn't have any delusions of fame or whatever he had. Stardom, I think, is the word that he had used. I'm saying I did, because that's how I saw myself. I was like, well, that's where I go next. I just become some kind of person on stage. And so in the context of music, I did want to have some amount of stardom. That was a dream. I think that was dream. It might have been what Warhart said. No dreams of stardom. Now I don't. These days, no. But years and years ago, when I was first beginning, I did have that dream of stardom. A lot of musicians have that experience. There's so much I have to get caught up on the chat. I love it. I love it that everyone in the chat right now is just having this really detailed conversation about synths and like mastering and mixing and all of this. This is great. Viral's talking about a rapper for hire. Rapper for hire would be great. I would love that. The only problem I would have with being a rapper for hire is the following. That, you know, if it's a proper business and it gets to the point of, you know, the client says, all right, I want this, you know, rap to be like this and whatever. They have their criteria. And then I get the order and I'm like, okay, first of all, I may or may not always be able to do a certain time frame. It's like, okay, this will be done in 7 days. It's like, maybe, but like, yeah, maybe not. Not even necessarily due to logistical limitations, just like inspiration limitations. So that's like, I could give you garbage in 7 days, but I want to give you something good, and so that can't always be put onto a schedule. But assuming that I could work that out, which I think I probably could, I think I could write okay raps for you on, you know, a 7-day turnaround or whatever the schedule is. But the other concern, the bigger one, is I write some, you know, 16-bar verse, and I'm like, here you go, customer. I have written a verse for you. And then the customer's like, oh, this is so dope. But this one line here, and they want me to change like some word or some flow or something. That's like, oh, you can't do that though. Like the rest of the whole everything depends. Like, do you know how many like setups and callbacks that was part of? That was like the third syllable as part of this one layer of the. So that concerns me more. The lack of having creative control. So if I were to do some kind of rapper for hire thing, I would need to have in the contract some kind of stipulation that's just like, I, as the rapper, I get 100%, you know, creative control. I'm happy to talk a lot about what you want, but once it's written, that's what you're getting. Now, will there be some times when I can adjust and modify it? The answer is yes, but that's not the baseline assumption. The baseline assumption is what I wrote, you get. That's it. Happy to do business with you. Maybe viral, you and me should do a rapper for hire business. I'll be this very like strict. I'll give you the product I want to give you kind of rapper. I'll give you the product I want to give you and you're going to like it. That's called wise. That's called being a shrewd businessman. Man, there's so much chat. I love it. So much chat going on. Person Tube says, I'm just going to pay someone to do mastering. I don't even, you know, I'm in the category of people who says, I don't even really understand what mastering is. As soon as you say that, you know, bring out the NPCs who are like, it means frequencies. Like, okay, thanks. What do you mean? I don't really know what mastering is. It is audible. If you submit your final mix, you get it mastered. You can hear that it's different. Like, I have no question about that. But I don't really understand what it is. And I understand why you need it. You need mastering, so here's my understanding of mastering. Everybody in the chat, you please let me know. Correct me in real time. That's the number one best part of operating together as a real-time hangout community, is that you can correct me in real time. But my understanding of mastering in a practical sense is you want it so that your song always sounds balanced no matter how somebody's listening to it. So if they're listening to it quietly or loudly, they're listening to it on this set of speakers or that set of speakers, it kind of always sounds good. And there's different mastering types for, like, is it going to be streaming at some high quality bit rate? Is it going to be loaded onto Spotify and YouTube? There's different end products of the master. But my understanding, as I said, is just you need it mastered so that it sounds good no matter how someone's listening to it. That's roughly my practical takeaway. But to everyone who's a technical expert, please correct me and give me a better understanding if that's the case. See, Lang is asking about the artwork behind me. Can we say anything about that, says Lang. The answer is yes. Yes, we can. I'm going to walk over there and say stuff about that artwork behind me. reaches. That's good. All right, let's see. What's the best way for me to handle this? How about like this? There you go, like that. So this here, this black square thing here with the circle in it, that is a simplex. A simplex is the simplest object that, this is a math term, by the way. This is I guess you would say this is topology, or maybe it's geometry. Or you know what, it could be even linear algebra. Let's say it's like some kind of geometry or linear algebra thing. Anyway, a simplex is the simplest object that can exist on a given dimension. So for example, in a two-dimensional space, which is what this black square is with the white thing on it, in a two-dimensional space, a flat plane, you can only have geometrical objects like a circle or a triangle or a square or, you know, an octagon or a pentagon or whatever you want. You can only have just geometrical objects. You can't have like a ball. A ball doesn't exist in a flat two-dimensional space. And the idea is each dimensional space of whatever two-dimensional, three-dimensional, four-dimensional, etc., they all have this concept of something called a simplex. And a simplex is the simplest object with the fewest number of points and the fewest qualities, the fewest attributes. The smallest, simplest possible object is called a simplex. And that's what that is. That's what you're looking at. This is a simplex, which is on a two-dimensional plane. It's a triangle, an equilateral triangle. There's a pattern in the middle that's related to, like if this were a projection of a three-dimensional simplex, which is a pyramid, not a pyramid like the Egyptian pyramids, but a tetrahedron. If a tetrahedron is projected onto a two-dimensional plane, it looks like what you see here on this. So what this is like alluding to is just multidimensionality. Is effectively, this is the flag of multidimensionality. And I used to use that when I perform live. When I perform live, I would have my little setup. If you look really closely, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's little, what do you call them, ingots? I think an ingot, a little metal ingot, where you can attach, you know, rope to or whatever. I used to hang that off of my thing, and this was my live performance flag. So that's, as Lang was asking, a little discussion of some of the art that's back here. These other two things that you see on the top, this first one, which is probably not very, I guess you can see it a little bit, but this first one, it says conscious object on it. It's got a brain and a heart. I just commissioned somebody, a graphic designer, a graphic artist, to do something vaguely like this, and she came up with that, and I was like, oh, dope. So then we printed up like 100 of them, or 200 of them or something, and we had some, I forget if it was like a CD release party, or if it was like, you know, the 5-year anniversary or so. I forget exactly. We had some kind of special show, a live show we did in Conscious Object. And at that show, we gave away these posters if you wanted them. And we also used these posters as flyers for the show. So that's why there's space at the bottom. Space at the bottom so that you could put show dates. Like, oh, you know, we're doing it this time, you know, join us at this venue, that kind of thing. That's the one on the left here, and the one on the right, this one that's black and white, and you can see the least in the, yeah, you can see that one the least. It's like faces, masks. This is an Outside Voices poster. That's what's at the bottom here. It also might not be visible from the camera over there. Outside Voices. One of my producers from Outside Voices, Every Day, he made that poster, and he made most of the beats. He either made solo or collaborated with a different producer on most of the beats for Outside Voices. He's ridiculously talented. He just does extremely high quality stuff, whatever he touches. He was a producer, and then like one day we were hanging out and he started rapping. I was like, what? And then he's one of the rappers in Outside Voices. Like, what? You were a producer. When are you all of a sudden rapping? And when he was rapping, that he did not sound like some clumsy out of step beginner. Like, I was like, this is not bad. And he just comes out of nowhere, starts rapping. Like, what in the hell? And he drew this graphic design. He used to do other flyers for our shows and things. His other group, he did all the graphic design for. He's really talented. If you want to check him out, I know he has an Instagram page. I don't think he's very active these days. But you can check it out. It's, as I said, Everyday. That's EVARIDAE. Everyday. He's the one who made that poster, is what I'm saying, for Outside Voices. And we gave that out at some of our shows when we did a few. I think he made that for one big show we did. We opened for Devin the Dude. Do you know Devin the Dude? He did a song, what's his song? I forget. Anyway, you look up Devin the Dude. I forget his like huge hit. He had one, he was kind of like a, not a one-hit wonder, but he had one like clear thing that everybody knew. Anyway, we opened for him one time. And I forget if that was for that show or if it was a different show. In any case, that's the answer for Lang regarding the artwork that's back there. There's a lot of chat still I'm getting caught up on here. PersonTube says, it's impressive that you can write 16 bars in 24 hours. Yeah, that's pretty ordinary. Among rappers, that's a pretty ordinary thing. I mean, in Outside Voices, we used to have sessions where we would write, multiple songs in one night. Even our initial album that we released, we wrote 6 songs in one day. Now, granted, not all of them were 16 bars. There were some times where it was like 8 bars, and there was like 4 bars and 4 bars. I think it was a little different from 16 bars. But the others were. We did do 16 bars, and it was all on a Saturday. So that's pretty ordinary. I would say that any experienced rapper can write 16 bars, probably in one sitting. That doesn't necessarily mean that every song that you're doing from pure inspiration to your highest standards always is in one day. But to be assigned the task of, hey, go and write 16 bars to have 16 bars for the sake of it. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be the best thing you've ever written. Just write 16 bars. That's not a huge challenge. As I was saying earlier, there might be some times that I can't quite fit it in, but that's not a big deal. Viral says that one of my songs is right now playing on Twin Cities Oxygen because he's having a marathon. He's having this fundraiser right now, Twin Cities Oxygen, for like animals that don't have homes, domesticated animals that don't have homes. And he's doing a fundraiser for that. He did a 12-hour stream yesterday. He's doing bonus content now. Viral says he's got my content up. And I also see that he's in the place now. Twin Cities! Also is in the place here. I like it. Yeah, that was cool. He just, one day he was like, hey man, I like your stuff. Can I include you in this fundraiser? And I was like, yes. Let me go do something for you now. And then I did. It was good. That's the full chronology of that whole storyline. There's nothing missing. PersonTube confirms what I was saying earlier, maybe a little more eloquently. He says, mixing and producing is what you do to make it good on your speakers, to make it sound good on your speakers, but mastering is what makes it sound good on everyone's speakers. Yeah, I like that. Warheart also adds that mastering also makes the final level tight. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm on board with that addition to what, like, why master? Because some artists don't even master their stuff. Some artists don't even do it. I don't know how much of a serious release you can do without mastering it, but some artists don't. I certainly don't for YouTube or, any of these little, not too long ago, what, a month and a half ago, I released a quick 16-bar jam that I did on a beat by Donald Duck. And I wrote that in, like, basically one day. I had a little bit of time one day, a couple of hours, and I got about 12 bars of it. And then I had to finish the rest the next day. But it all just came right out effectively in one sitting. I need to get into some kind of, like, producer community where people are always making beats that they want someone to rap on. And they're just, like, throwing beats out. They're like, oh, somebody take one of these samples and make a... Because some producers do that. They want to have, like, a discography. And so they'll say, like, oh, go use this beat and make some rap out of it, do what you want with it, and then put it on your page, but let me know and I'll link to it so that I have a little bit of a sample of what someone might do with one of my beats, which I think is a pretty good relationship for a producer and a rapper to have. Or I guess any two artists, it doesn't have to be a producer and a rapper, but it's most pronounced like that. Jack says, for me, mastering is about making it sound roughly as loud as other things that you could expect to have in the same genre, or to hear in the same genre as me, is what I'm doing. Basically, I want to fit in sonically with some other album that somebody might be playing right before me, or some song that might be playing right after me. That's very mindful of you. It also is to your advantage, so I don't mean to say it's necessarily altruistic, but it is mindful. Still getting caught up on the chat here, and as always, I'm a couple minutes behind. But I see PersonTube was talking about the simplex from earlier when I was pointing out the flag in the background, the multi-dimensionality flag. That PersonTube says, isn't a hexagon a simplex? No, a simplex is like for the whole dimensional plane. It's not like this is a simplex relative to that thing. Each dimensional plane has one simplex that represents the smallest. Like you can do this for yourself, this is always such a fun exercise. If you take 3 coins, 3 pennies or 3 dimes or something, take 3 coins of the same size. And by the way, when I say pennies and dimes, that's United States currency. So naturally substitute your own currency here. But just get 3 of the same coin. And your task is take those 3 coins and put them on a table or whatever, just some flat surface. And your task is just smush them together as closely as you can so that they are all as close to each other as they possibly can be. And I'm going to give you the spoiler, and you can go do it yourself to prove this is right. The spoiler is, there's only one way to do that. There's only one way to take these 3 coins and put them together so that they form an object, and that's the equilateral triangle. No matter how else you try to arrange them, it's not as efficient. it's like elongated, or the angles are different, or all these different things. There's only one way to have them packed most concisely. So that's a triangle. In the four-dimensional space, you need one more point. You need 4 points, and that's where you get a tetrahedron from. And you can confirm this with 4 rather, like 4 tennis balls or something. If you have 4 spheres of the same exact size, and you'll find that the only way to put them together so that they're all touching each other, that's one of the criteria, they all touching each other, there's only one way to do it, and that's with the tetrahedron, which is the 3-sided pyramid. I shouldn't say 3-sided. The pyramid whose faces are all triangles. That's what I mean to say by that. Which is different from the Egyptian pyramids, which is, it has 4 triangular faces, but then 1 square face, which is that's not the simplex of the 3rd dimension. Tetrahedron is the 3rd dimensional simplex. And each simplex fits perfectly in its dimensions round object. So the triangle fits perfectly in a circle, the tetrahedron fits perfectly in a sphere. There's all sorts of extrapolations that come out of that. There's all sorts of parallels that go between dimensional magnitude. Warheart has just saved the day. Warheart told me those things are grommets. Thank you, Warheart. What did I call them earlier? Some wrong word. Grommets on that flag back there. That is what they are. Yes. That's what I used to hang them. You know what else? You know what else? You know what else? You know what else? This world needs a Friends, this has been such a good stream. We got such a fun beat out of this. What a good experience this has been. Thank you for being here. You being here impacts this. You're having an influence. Whether you're here with us live in the chat, you have the most immediate, obvious influence on the content of this stream. Even if you're here with us live, but you're not in the chat, or you're here with us after the stream, we feel you. We know that you're here. You are having an impact. You matter. And this has been good. This has been good today. What a good beat and good stream we have had. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you in the next live stream. My regulars know we have got a variety of live streams available here on the Reconsiderate's Music Sketch Band. Loops and Chill looks like a well-rehearsed performance of 4 or 5 different beats. Nope, they're all improvised, flying by the seat of my pants. Join us for Loops and Chill. 505 Beat Making, you get to learn technical details about the loopers while I make a beat. Join us for 505 Beat Making. Unspoken, we playing around with the loopers, making a beat, bringing some synth in, but no talking at all. Perfect for your instrumental needs. Join us for Unspoken. And Tinkering in the Studio. Tinkering in the Studio is the everything stream. Building up a beat on the loopers, all vocals, bringing the synthesizers, talking about stuff. Man, this is just like the pub. You just want to hang out and chat. It's like the thing you look forward to. Join us for Tinkering in the Studio. And my regulars know there's a new type of the 5th. There's a new type of stream, not yet reflected in the menu. and that is the discussion streams. Discussion streams, which are more about talking and less about the music. For those, we do the verticals. We just sit down at the desk and talk. So far, we talk about practical tips for when you're the speaker. But who knows how these discussion streams are going to evolve. Join us. Have an influence on how they evolve. And whatever live stream type it is, my friends, whenever it is that you join us again, please, until then, please have a very good rest of your day today. Please have a very amazing and uplifting, inspiring rest of your day today. Please allow the rest of your day today to renew your sense of hope. Please allow the rest of your day to inspire you in new and amazing ways. Please have a very healing, full rest of your day today. Please feel rested and rejuvenated today. Please know that you are supported today. Please stand upright today, and I will see you in the next